everybody. Orit here with Lisa Simone Richards, and I'm so stoked to have her. I've been working with her, by the way, and I just can't wait for her to talk about what she's doing and the great things that she can offer you. So without further ado, let's continue. Here we go. Lisa Simone Richards, please tell us who you are and what you do.
Hi, Orit. Thank you so much for inviting me to come and hang out with your instructors today. This is such a cool opportunity. So hi, guys. I'm super excited to see you, whether you're live or on the replay. And sure, I can tell everyone a little bit about me, Orit, but I just want to give them one quick warning. So guys, who's watching this, I like to stay hydrated, but water is really boring to me, so I always have to find interesting ways to drink it. So when you see me drink from this isn't a martini or a vodka. This is literally my hydration, my water today. So I am not doing this drunk. So let's just get that one out the back. So who is this crazy lady with the martini glass? So my name is Lisa Simone Richards. I am a publicist and PR specialist. I've been working with health, fitness, and wellness entrepreneurs for the last 10 years. And really my passion is that so many of you guys have left your boring cubicle 9-to-5 job to do something that you really care about, to make a difference in people's lives. And it's really challenging to do that when people don't know who you are. So after a few years of working in agencies and corporations and just really not feeling like I was making an impact, I decided to go on my own and make the services that are typically $10,000 a month for 12 months through an agency available to people like you, so you can get your names out there so that you can get seen, get clients, and get paid. So Orit, I think that's the kind of official shtick. And then I guess, as far as our work goes, Orit and I have been working together for the last few months. She's a part of my private coaching program where I'm teaching her how to get her own visibility for herself, for her brand, for Sharky, so that you guys can be known on a bigger platform. And I love that you've been featured on some different podcasts lately, and we're kind of going to tell everyone how they can start doing this themselves.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you, Lisa. So Sharky Instructors, as you know, you've been seeing that I've been posting that I've been on a couple of podcasts, about 5 so far, with the help of Lisa. And so that's what we're talking about today, podcasts and how it can help you get seen. Yes. And thus get more students into your classes. So Lisa, can you talk about podcasts and why podcasts are so great and how they can help you?
Yeah, I think so, especially for entrepreneurs. I think a lot of us, especially when we're just starting, the idea of getting seen on a really visible platform is kind of scary. Like, what if our friends and family see? What are they going to say? What are they going to think? So thinking about being on TV or in a newspaper, that can freak some people out. So I think podcasts are such a good way to start building your brand in your name. So specifically because one, no one sees you. You can do it in your pajamas. I've done many podcasts in my PJs. Right. And two, because really what you're doing as an instructor is you want to build credibility and authority for yourself. You want people to believe in you. You want them to trust you, and then to want to have that experience with your class. So I think the podcasts are a really great way of getting yourself being seen in an elevated position so that you're on that stage. Typically, if you're listening to a podcast, that person has been vetted, right? Someone sees them as an expert and has invited them to come on and talk about their wisdom. So when you're in that position, the people who are thinking about coming to your classes kind of see you in a certain way,
Totally. Absolutely. That's awesome. Great. And so what type of podcasts would you suggest to my Sharky instructors?
Okay, awesome. That's a really good question, because sometimes I find, I don't know about you guys or about you, but I'm a podcast junkie. I literally can listen to 6 a day. I love them. I crave knowledge so much. But the challenge is, and something that I have to keep in mind, is just because something's my favorite podcast doesn't mean that the people who want to work with me are listening to it. So one thing that I'm really mindful of is thinking about who is my ideal client and what is he or she listening to. So because I'm a publicist for health, fitness, and wellness entrepreneurs, I turn to things like the Wellness Business Podcast, the Fitness Business Podcast. Those are ones that I just listen to for pure interest, but my ideal client is hanging out there as well. I also do a few podcasts that are specifically about PR and public relations so that I can establish myself as an expert in that window. So thinking about your instructors, for you guys who are tuning in, think about, okay, number one, you're instructing a physical class. People actually have to come and be on premises with you. So are there any podcasts that are specific to the city that you're in? Maybe they're looking to feature cool things that are across the city, and your workout can be one of them. So that's a really good way to start getting your toes wet with podcasts, but also use it in a way that people can actually work with you. So I think that's probably the first thing that you guys should start working on. I have what I like to call and tell me if I'm rambling, all right. I have what I like to call my ABCs of publicity. So awareness, buzz, and credibility. Anyone who's trying to get PR is likely going for one of those three things. So think about, what are you trying to get out there right now? Do you want just people to know that you're in the area? Do you have a new class coming out that you want more people to register for? Because, if they see you in a newspaper, on a podcast, and on local TV all in the same week, someone's going to think, okay, I've heard about this 3 times this week. Maybe I need to check it out. Or are you looking to build credibility for your brand? And that's when you want to get on something like, Oprah, because once Oprah puts her stamp on anything, it's good. So I really think your instructors need to think about, where do you want to be seen and why? And that will influence where to go. So again, podcasts, especially your local ones, are a really good start.
Right. And even you can niche it even more, I think. So let's say you're an instructor in New York City and you find a local podcast from New York. You can even niche it and maybe find podcasts for moms in New York if you have a large demographic. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. You can get as niche as you want to. And I'm glad you brought that up, because I've been doing a lot of interviews with experts in the industry, speaking to health business coaches, fitness business coaches, wellness business coaches. And what they all say unanimously is you need to niche down. So really figuring out what is that kind of subset of the population you're going after. And again, podcasts are growing like crazy. I can't even remember the stats on how many people are listening to them a year, but chances are there probably is a New York mom specific podcast. And I bet you can even go further down into that. There's a New York dancer podcast for all I know.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I think it's really all about being creative and thinking about what are the different types you could go for, but also thinking about what are the different angles that I could speak about.
Absolutely. Oh, that's great stuff, Lisa. Thank you. Now, Sharky Instructors, I know it's been a lot of work just to get certified, right? But is it also a lot of work to get seen and to get, your pitches approved from other podcast hosts? Is it going to be work to do all this stuff?
Yeah, here's where I see a lot of entrepreneurs just in general fall short. So all of us take the time and the money to invest in a program. So, maybe you're a health coach and you've gone through, IHN or one of those other schools. Maybe you're a fitness coach and you've gone through your personal training certification. And then we tend to stop there thinking we've done enough. Right. But the only thing is I'm going to actually tell a story about this. I was just in my business coaches event in California a few weeks ago. And what she was sharing is that a lot of us will get 99% of the way. Not even a lot of us, really. A lot of us maybe will get to 90% of the way, and then a chunk of us will get to 99. And then there's a difference that separates the 99% from the 100%. So are you really going to go all this way and be like, oh, okay, well, I've done enough and it's not working? Or are you going to be like, okay, I've done all of this work and now I just need to add a little bit more to take it over the edge and actually create amazing success for myself and be willing to do the work that other people simply aren't willing to do. Something that she has shared with me this year, and I love how she's framed it because it's really influenced my mindset, is that only the people who pass certain challenges and tests get to move to the next step. So when we're looking at all those people who have crazy amounts of success, they've done something that we haven't, they've been willing to push through something that is annoying or uncomfortable. As a publicist, I'm no stranger. It's so funny because now I'm personal life, I should be doing this too. But, in my professional life as a publicist, I'm sending media pitches every single day. I probably sent at least 25 media pitches yesterday. You know how many I heard back from? 2. And you know what the 2 are? They're national media opportunities. So if I sent 23 and was no one's getting back to me, I guess the story sucks, I guess I'll give up, then I wouldn't have hit those last 2. So now I have a really happy client who's getting national coverage in 2 outlets, but I had to let people say no to me 23 times before I got the last 2. Wow. So I think that's kind of what I want to share with the point of that. So there's a lot of rejection that comes up. It's just nice, but it's the people who give up at that stage and they're womp womp and pack it in. Those are the ones that you're not hearing about.
Yeah. So Sharky Instructors, I hope what you heard, I hope you heard what you're saying. It's gold. It's about staying consistent. Yet sometimes it'll take, a few months, maybe even a year. Stay with it. You will see the rewards. Yeah. So once you get certified, that's it. You don't think that the students are going to flock to you. You still got to put the work in, right?
Yeah. And I think about a local gym here in Toronto, and one of the instructors, that instructor, no matter what she teaches, she has a following that moves with her. Like she could be at Equinox right now, then she could be a dancer, then she could be working with Nike Run Club, but she's established her own personal brand to such a strength that what she does, her crowd follows. So I think no matter what you're certified in, like it's actually really on you to come up with that personal brand and take that extra step, because this chick, like I don't know her bank account, but she's doing really well and she has brands all the time wanting to connect with her and work with her because she's built her own personal brand. So regardless of, you know, whether it's Sharky or somebody else, you have to do that extra work to be able to build that authority and credibility. And I think that's really where establishing yourself through something like publicity is really going to be helpful.
Yeah, awesome. And then along with podcasts, like, do you think that we'd be able to get also influencers through those podcasts to come to Sharky classes?
Oh my gosh, can I share a story of something I did with one of my clients? And then if your people love this, run with it and do it. So I love to do something called a media event. And I know the idea of working with media can seem really intimidating to people, but like put the devil wears Prada perceptions aside, they can actually be super nice. I was on desk side gigs all last week going to fashion magazines with editors, and they're super nice people. So, okay, so let me tell you about this media event that I did. So I was working with an aerial yoga studio here in Toronto, and they wanted to get some more local people in there. So we identified who are the top bloggers in Toronto, like lifestyle bloggers, yoga bloggers, wellness bloggers, people who were influencers and would have the kind of audience that mirrors what my client wanted in her studio. So we chose about 12 people in the city, and we invited them to come in for a free class. Like literally takes nothing out of her to offer a free hour-long class. We partnered with a local food studio down the street. So they were a healthy food eatery, so, you know, fit in with the theme. And they were happy to just get in front of these people. So the food was free. So here we are inviting you to a free workout where a class is normally $30. We're going to give you some healthy food that costs us nothing. And it was an aerial yoga class. So, you know, it was totally Instagram and Snapchat worthy. So all of these guys that were learning how to do it, they were having fun. A lot of them had never done it before. So where someone might be a little intimidated, like everybody was at the same level. So it's kind of cool. And they were bonding over their, you know, like fear of stepping into the silk. And they're like, oh my God, I'm hanging upside down moments and taking pictures. So then they all Snapchatted, Instagram, blogged about it. And then we saw a significant spike in people coming to the studio over the next few days, because all of a sudden you have these 12 influencers all saying how they went to this class, how much they loved it, showing their pictures, sharing the experience. And because people had seen this on 3 different sources, they're like, well, okay, if everyone's talking about it, like not saying that people are sheep, but it was like, if everyone's talking about it, there must be something to this. And then people started going there more often. And what's really cool is that a national news network actually came in and filmed them for a news piece later on. So who knows, maybe a producer from that station was following one of those bloggers, and then that led to a national news piece. So you literally never know what opportunity can lead to something. Like even like, for anyone who's tuning into this, that's used to doing like podcasting, it's done like, you know, you're getting to be a seasoned pro now or 5 later. I remember there was a time you'd never done one before and you're like, oh my God. But, you know, for a lot of us, that's kind of like rookies, and that's just kind of where you start. I did a podcast one time and somebody heard me speak on it. So he invited me to speak at his own live event. I think he like paid me $250 to speak live, whatever. That's totally cool. I'll take it. Not my purpose. And then from speaking at that live event, someone hired me as a private client, which is upwards of $5,000. So just doing one podcast literally turned into live speaking gigs, turned into a client. So any opportunity, like don't think it's too small, because it really has the opportunity to make you pop.
Wow, that's a great story. Ah, I love that. I love how with media, it's like a cycle, like just you do one thing and it just gets easier, it seems like.
And yeah, that's totally the thing, because I think where the challenge is, like doing the pitching in the beginning, I get how frustrating it can be. Like for me to get 50 no's is literally no skin off my back now. But when it's something you're like running a business and you're trying to invest in other things and you're like, well, I'm just getting no's. Why am I doing this? But the second you have your first one, everything changes. An example I can share is that a producer friend of mine, we actually went to university together. She's a producer on a national TV show here in Canada. She was reading something in the Oprah magazine about like tools that relieve aches and pains. So then she was like, I kind of want a chiropractor to come on the show and talk about it. So I was able to connect with some guys who I was just friends with, who are identical twin chiropractors, and be like, hey, this national news show wants someone to talk about it. Are you interested? I worked with them for 2 years, so that was a nice paycheck for me. They got 3 opportunities on national television. Then a magazine saw them on TV all the time, and they contribute a monthly column to that magazine now. So again,
Wow.
one little thing, you just have to get through the nose, but for those people who can deal with getting through the frustrations of the nose, there is
Yeah,
so much gold on the other side. So it just depends on which camp you want to sit in.
exactly. Which camp? Doer or not doer? um, then can you just tell us about the process of pitching a podcast?
And
Easy,
again, for
hard.
anyone, yep, and for anyone tuning in late, this is water, not my
Okay.
just in case anyone's like, who's the drunk chick? So sorry, you were asking about what is the process for pitching?
Yeah. So go take us through the process briefly.
Okay, sure. So the first thing you want to identify is what is the right media outlet in the first place. So if you want to attract people to come to a fitness class and you're pitching and a magazine all about finances, there isn't an alignment there. So think about what is your ideal audience consuming and how can you get in that type of content, whether it's a magazine, TV show, newspaper, podcast, etc. So that's the first thing, identifying the right outlet. And then you want to identify who's the right person you need to be in touch with. So if it is a magazine, you're going to be looking for a health editor, a nutrition editor, maybe a fitness editor. If it's someone in lifestyle, it could be a beauty or health editor. For TV shows, you're looking for a segment producer. It really depends on the medium you're going for. There are different titles. A lot of people tend to go straight to, like, on TV, they'll pitch the host. And the host, like, they're just the front face, actually. They get to work and they're told what they're talking about today. It's not like, some Billy Bush was like, this would be really cool to talk about on TV. Like, no, he was told what to talk about today.
Right.
So you want to look for the people who are behind the scenes. And then the next thing to do is really make sure you understand their content before you reach out to them. So the challenge that I see with a lot of entrepreneurs is they're just like, okay, I'm launching a new Sharky class. It's going to be on Mondays at 7. Write about it in the news. Like, no one cares. Not to be rude, but they don't.
Yeah.
What you need to do is think about what is the bigger story and how can I be a part of it? So is there, the fitness trends for 2018 should be coming out this week. Is there something about how dance fitness is going to be a trend in 2018? Did it fall off the list? Like, how can you somehow, whatever the trends of 2018 are, how can you make yourself a part of that story and share a commentary on it? So I think that's an example of how you yourself don't even have to be the news item. You can pay attention to what people are talking about in your space and just offer your opinion as an expert. So that's another good way to think about getting out there. So really understand what kind of content they have and think about how you can give value to their audience. Because like we were saying before, people don't necessarily care about you launching a new class, but they might care about a study, or the holidays are coming up, or they may have just had a baby and they want a gentle way to come back to fitness. So there are all these different angles you can think about and weave yourself in there, and then pitch a story on how you could contribute to the publication, whether it's TV, newspaper, etc. And share value to the audience. So make sure to really focus on a giving perspective as opposed to a me, write about me kind of perspective.
Yeah. Oh, good. Cool. So it doesn't seem, there's going to be some research involved up front, but once you have it down, it'll be easier.
Yeah, for me, you guys have Barnes and Nobles in the States. We have something called Chapters, Indigo, and Canada. Literally, that is my job. Going to Chapters and reading magazines all day is work for me. I'm so lucky to have that. So just think about where do you want to end up and make sure you just read 2 or 3 issues of it first so you can be really familiar with the kind of content that they put out to their people, and you can be sure you're doing an accurate pitch.
Great. So instructors, what Lisa is giving you is gold. She has told me the same thing, and really I have gotten results, and I've been loving it so far, and I've been loving working with Lisa.
Oh, so you're really sweet. I love working with you.
Oh, thank you, Lisa. So we're going to wrap it up, and I want to know if you have any last things to say to the Sharky instructors.
To think about getting your first piece of media coverage. So if you've never done it before, think about maybe doing a guest blog post, maybe do a podcast, maybe get something in a really, really hyper local newspaper in your community. You have such an opportunity in front of you right now with Thanksgiving, American Thanksgiving is going to be coming up, Christmas is coming up, New Year's is coming up. So everybody's wondering about how they can eat healthy, how they can lose weight, how they can stay fit. So those stories never go away at this time of year. Just think about how can I become a part of that conversation.
Great. And you also have a gift for the instructors. And what is that?
So we talked a lot about podcasts today, and something that I have on my website, and I swear to God, for 6 months I've said this and I still haven't done it, but I have a 5-day challenge called the Pitch to Podcast Challenge. It's free for people to sign up to, and I've had people who've pitched 5 podcasts and gotten on 4 from that. And the only reason they didn't get on the 5th was because there wasn't time that week, but they were going to do it later. So it's pretty good, and I get solid results from it. I will eventually turn that into a paid product, but for now, hey, take it for free. So essentially, if you head to my website at lisasimonerichards.com/free-challenge. That's where you can sign up for it. And really what will happen over the course of 5 days is every day I'll send you an email. It's a video, a training video that's less than 10 minutes long, teaching you how to find the right podcast, how to do a pitch, and actually how to do the follow-up, because I know a lot of people will email once and then they'll feel kind of self-conscious reaching out to, hey, did you get my email? They'll feel like a pest. So I teach you how to do the follow-up, and included in the challenge, I share the exact script that I've used to get on a podcast, so you can see how I write my pitch. And there's a template with fill in the blank spots so you can do it for yourself. So I literally take all the guesswork out of it and make it so easy for you.
I'm just writing your website here in the chat. Hopefully they'll get it.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
There we go.
Look at that, it came up.
Okay, guys, can I just tell you, this free challenge, a Pitch to Podcast challenge, Lisa makes it so freaking easy. Okay? So get off your hiney, all right? It's just take that template, tailor it for you, yeah? And just find the people who you want to pitch and go for it, yeah? And she even gives a follow-up pitch or a follow-up letter in case they don't email you the first time. Because, people are busy, the email gets lost in the shuffle and all that, but she makes it super easy and it works.
Aw, thank you for that endorsement, Harit. Well, yeah, you're a perfect example. You've done 5 now and you'd never done one before, so.
Exactly. So thank you, Lisa Simone Richards, for coming on. I really, really appreciate it, and the Sharky instructors appreciate it too. And guys, go and do the challenge, and I'd love to hear about it, and let Lisa know about it too.
I always love getting feedback. So if anyone has questions, I actually am totally receptive. If you just want to shoot me a private message, you can just look me up, Lisa Simone Richards. Don't even worry about finding my group or my page or anything. Just ask me your question. I'm so happy to help. So yeah, shoot me a line and I will respond.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody. And thank you, Lisa. Have a great day.
Thanks, Harit. See you guys later. Can't wait to hear you on podcasts.
Bye.
Bye.